Yo, what is up? It's that time, it's that moment. It's Righteous and Lelos with another video.
Yeet.
Yeah, man. So we hitting you up again with another podcast episode of Knockout. This is gonna be episode 2. We're gonna be talking about a bunch of different topics. Did you want to go over any of the fights that we had this weekend, or did you want to go into the hot topics first?
We can go over the fights real quick, get that out the way, and then let's talk about the hot topics that's been going on in the boxing world.
All right, cool. So what's next for Navarette? That's the question that we all are asking right now. What's next for him? He's at the 130 division. He's a 2-time division world champion. What is next for him, Lelos? What do you got?
Man, there was a fighter at ringside. His name is Usyk Foster, and he's currently the WBC champion in that division. And I think it's only right if both these champions unify and see who's the man in that division. Both these fighters are very, great, and you could expect a good fight between Navarette and Foster. We all know Navarette comes to fight like he just did this past weekend against Sugar Nunez. And and Foster, he's never in a boring fight. He's coming off a tremendous victory over Stephen Fulton. A lot of people, had Fulton, winning that fight, and even the odds makers, it was like a close 50-50, but Foster did his thing, and he's champion for a reason. And I believe, these two fighters getting in the ring, it's fighter 1 and 2. So I would say, the Ring magazine should get involved and to determine who is, the king of the division.
I agree. Navarrete's been doing this thing for a while. You know what I'm saying? He's been really repping his city and his country and stuff like that for a minute. And he did really well this weekend. I did see a little bit of people thinking that it shouldn't have been stopped so early. But I don't think it was early at all. The guy's eye was literally shut, bro. Like,
correct.
He's cooked. Like, he was done. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, bro. Not only that, bro, he was taking a beating also, through most of the fight. And Navarette wasn't slowing down either. So, Navarette could have done even more damage or even possibly got him out of there. I think the stoppage for me was a good stoppage. 1, because he was down the scorecards, and 2 is because he's been taking a beating. And so I don't disagree with the stoppage.
Not at all. I mean, I didn't disagree at all because, the eye being closed like that is like, what more do you have to offer, bro? Like, you're probably not going to win.
That's true, man. I agree.
All right. So moving on to Emiliano Vargas and his performance. What do you think about his future? How do you feel about him?
Man, Emiliano showed a lot of patience. He showed chin in that fight as well, man. He showed that he could take a punch. He got caught, but he took it very well. He displayed a great jab, beautiful body work as well, man. During that fight, he was breaking his opponent down round by round, and his opponent was known for taking O's. He took a lot of great O's. On his resume, he took, I think, Mark Castro's O, and this opponent came to fight, but Emiliano showed that he belongs at the elite level now, man. He was a prospect last year. I think this year he's gonna be a contender, and then probably the next few years he'll be a world champion, bro. Emiliano, it's a truth, and I think he's going to be one of the guys that's going to be carrying the Mexican-American boxing for a while. So the future is bright for Emiliano, man. That's all I got to say.
I agree. I mean, I can't wait, man. I can't wait for him to have like more crazy style fights, like more better like matchups and stuff like that. I see him moving up fast. You know what I mean? He just has to continue to do what he's doing. From what I understand, he doesn't drink or party. He doesn't do too much crazy stuff. He's a family man, and then his dad, he has a resume. You know what I'm saying? He's fought, for most of his life, so he has a great example right there. And I think he's just gonna continue to get better. Like, to be honest, I think with his height and his frame, he's gonna have a lot of luck, bro. He's gonna continue to do well. And I agree with you about him repping the flag and everything like that. He's gonna be one of the guys repping it for the new generation. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, also the thing I forgot about him and Ryan, I guess we were going at it a little bit. Emiliano and Ryan. Ryan said something about his performance, that it took him a while, to knock him out. Emiliano, clapped back at Ryan, saying that, he's not on PEDs. He said next time. He was like, next time I should just do PEDs so I can get him out of there, faster.
Oh man.
But yeah, so they had a little few words. I don't know if there's a little rivalry going on between the Garcias and the Vargas, because Amado Vargas did beat up Ryan Garcia's brother, Sean Garcia, and gave him his first loss. So maybe there's still a little bit of
definitely
fire between both families.
Yeah, but that makes sense.
Yeah, so
but that might be something that we could revisit.
Yeah, and down the line, a fight between Emiliano and Ryan, maybe, whenever Emiliano is at that level, that'll be a huge fight, especially for the culture, the Mexican American culture. Ryan bring, fans. Emiliano's growing, and he's the next, Mexican American superstar. So, man, that's just a fight down the line that could be a mega fight.
I would like to see it, because I already see what Emiliano can do. He just hasn't been tested like that yet. So once he gets through those tests, the sky is the limit for that man. And yeah, big fights is gonna show up, whether it's Ryan or Teofimo or whoever is at the welterweight division. It's possible, man. It's really possible to make big fights for him, because he's legit.
Facts, bro. Facts.
All right, so let's move down to the lightweight division. And let's talk a little bit about Tank, bro. So Tank is people are bringing this up because there's rumors of him and his draw versus Lamont Roach being overturned. I never got to speak to you about this because obviously the show just started. We just started doing this, but correct. What is your take on that fight? Like, he had the knockdown in that fight. He looked kind of crazy, turning his back on the fighter and stuff like that.
Correct.
Do you think it should be reviewed at least? Because this guy is like untouchable sometimes, Tank Davis.
Yeah, man. That fight was a super close fight, man. I remember watching it, man. The fight could have gone either way, to be honest. Lamont Roach came to fight that day. He put on his boots and, he let them hands go. And, most of these fighters, before they even get to the ring with Tank Davis, they're already defeated. But it wasn't like that with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach already, fought Tank in the amateurs. So, he knew what he was about already. So, that mentality coming in scared, he didn't bring that with him because he already, did that in the amateurs. But now they did it in the pros. And, man, Lamont Roach, even though he didn't get that victory, and there's a lot of controversy.
He definitely proved himself.
Yeah, he proved himself. And not only that, he gained a lot of fans after that performance, because a lot of people thought that he should have got the nod, especially because Tank, took that knee right there, and it should have been considered a knockdown. I don't know what the ref was thinking that night, but man, if it wasn't for, if he would have got that knockdown, his whole career would have been different right now, because he would have been the winner. And that's facts. You got to blame the ref. The ref did a horrible job not counting that knockdown. And for that reason, Lamont Roach wasn't a champion that night. And, but Lamont Roach is getting big fights now because of that fight. He just got another draw with Pitbull Cruz, and Pitbull Cruz, is a
Definitely.
fighter that comes to fight. And so that even though that he didn't get that W, the doors still open up a bit for him. He got a lot of recognition, and he's getting big fights, big purses. So he's doing the damn thing.
Well, for me, I feel like he should have got the W.
Correct.
I think that it should have been reviewed, but this is not one of those sports where it takes a million years to review something like a fight like this. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that super close like that. Like, it wasn't like crazy close. It was more of a thing of a technicality. Like, for me, like, being that there was a knockdown, that should just swing around right there. You know what I'm saying? And the judges' scores were kind of like leaning toward Davis, but if you put that knockdown there, it looks like it would swing more to Roach, bro. Like,
Correct.
to me, like, it shouldn't take that long, man. This is not. I mean, there's no other sport, to be honest. In football, basketball, everybody's reviewing things right away. Why are we taking a whole year or more to review something like this?
Politics, bro. The politics in boxing. That's the reason. Tank is a side fighter. He is a superstar. He sells tickets. His name is hot. So they can't have him take a loss. So they are ignoring the facts that actually happen, and they're not giving Lamont his dues, which is BS, man.
But at the same time, this is something different. We've never seen something get reviewed like this, bro.
Correct. That's true. Well, yeah, we got to wait and see, what's going to happen if they are going to, overturn it. That still would be cool, but like you said, it shouldn't take a year later. It should have happened after the fight. I mean,
yeah,
we have, the ability to review stuff at the moment. Even there's new rule of the WBC about replays of knockdowns, and if they don't miss it, they can review it and then they'll score it if it really actually happened. And that's only in some states, and I think Vegas is one of those states that allows live replays. So I mean, I think we got to get that on board throughout all the states so we can have instant replays and not have this BS to wait a whole year, because that makes no sense. It takes away like the sweet taste of victory for the fighter, like Lamont. Definitely. So yeah.
And now he might not ever get that recognition. So let's say they do give him the W. Will other fighters look at him like he actually earned that W? Or was it because some judge or some politics stuff, people are gonna forget, they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, he won, or well, he should have won, or blah blah blah. Like, it's gonna be like a confusion type of deal. So I don't like that, but at least they're working on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll see how it unfolds, and we'll see if they actually do the right thing. And if they do, kudos, but they should have done this a long time ago.
Big facts. So let's move on to Keyshawn. Keyshawn is now calling out Pitbull, and from what I understand, no one is answering. Is that true? What's your take, and how do you feel about Keyshawn?
Yeah, Keyshawn's doing a great job right now, man. He's coming off a great TKO victory over Ortiz, and that performance showed why people are avoiding him, man. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I feel like a lot of fighters don't want to get in the ring with him nowadays. He's making these videos now on social media, and it's working. He's marketing himself too. He's putting himself in a position where fans want these fights, and he's calling everybody out. He's letting it be known that he wants Devin Haney, he wants Lewis Crocker, he wants Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and there was another fighter that he wanted, but yeah, he Lamont Roach, the guy we were just talking about.
He's been arguing with Ryan too online, but he doesn't know if he wants to fight him because of what the allegations about BD
and all that. Yeah, so but he's calling out everybody. He's doing what a fighter should do, call out everybody in and around his division. But I think he needs to fight. I think he needs to call out or fight Shakur as well. But a lot of people don't want to talk about that because they're brothers and all this and all that. But me personally, man, put that brother stuff to the side and see who's the best. I get it. You don't want to fight Shakur. But, you're calling out all these other fighters. Why not call out Shakur as well, man? Because that's a fight that fans would want to see too, Put that brotherhood
to the side. It might be quicker to make because all these other guys is busy, I guess.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And if they don't want to fight, you might as well, break bread with your brother. Why not? But he's doing a great job, man. Yeah. I am a fan of Keyshawn Davis, man. I like his style. He's a great boxer. He got that dog in him too. And there's a reason why, most of these fighters don't want to fight him. He got the skills to pay the bills.
I mean, we've seen guys like this before. We've seen Roy Jones Jr. call out people. We've seen even Floyd Mayweather when he was younger. He was calling out people. But this is a little bit different because Keyshawn is calling out two different divisions. He's calling out Pitbull, and then he's calling out Devin Haney. Those are two different divisions.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of wild to me. Like that shows that he actually wants smoke. But I don't think it's gonna happen right away. But he is doing the right thing. And if he knocks out more fighters like that, and he keeps getting on better cards, he should get an answer. Like somebody's definitely gonna put him in the schedule and just say, you know what, we gotta fight Keyshawn because he's just making too much noise. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, he's also been approved by all these guys like Shakur and Terrence Crawford. But at the end of the day, I agree with you, bro. Shakur has to at least acknowledge the fact that this man is a fighter too. Just acting like, oh, he's my brother and this and that. I'm sorry, you guys are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even millions. I think Shakur is making millions now, bro.
Correct.
So there shouldn't be an issue. If you want to make money and your brother wants to make money because that's why he's calling out people, then fight.
Exactly.
It's right there.
I agree with you, man. And we got Turkey Al Sheik, man. Saudi in the house. They're willing to put up any type of big bags to make great fights. So why not, give us a great fight? I don't mind if he fights Shakur. That'll be a good fight. Or, one of these other top guys, Pitbull, Rolly, Devin, Lewis Crocker, Lamont Roach, any of these guys, man. I think Keyshawn Davis is ready. And, I think he's going to be he's going to be pound for pound top 5 very soon.
Yeah, man. And there's a lot of good fights being put together for this year. There's still people that we haven't seen make a fight yet. They haven't created a matchup for them. So like there's got to be something that we could do for Keyshawn, man. We can't just keep watching these videos and just not see anybody answer that call, because somebody's gonna want to fight Keyshawn, bro.
Yeah, why not, man? You know who I'm thinking too will be a good one right now that just came up to my head? Edwin De Los Santos. Edwin.
Oh yeah.
That fight should have happened at 135, yeah. But why not, make it happen at 140? Let's revisit that fight and see, they could get that going. Because, Dos Santos, he's a great fighter, man. He got pop and he can box, and he gave Shakur, a cool little fight. So, let's see.
He got a chin, too.
Exactly, so.
That would make sense. Cool. So we do have the announcement of Usyk fighting a um kickboxer. I'm not remembering his name right now. We can pull it up, but what is your initial thoughts? Because I know that this is something that you wanted to bring up in the podcast. So what are your initial thoughts of that?
Man, look, I'm a fan of Usyk, but this is a slap to the face to us boxing fans, man. I never heard of this cat. I can't remember dude's name, bro. I think it was Perry or Mary or
Rico, right?
Rico. Yeah, there you go, Rico. I'm telling you, I forgot dude's name. He's not a boxer. He's a kickboxer, and he's fighting for boxing world titles, which is crazy, man. He didn't even earn his shot up there. There's still people like Joseph Parker that waited to fight Usyk and didn't get the opportunity. There's other fighters in the top 15 that are paying these sanctioning fees, hoping to get a shot at the world titles, and they're not getting their shot. Unfortunately, this kickboxer named Rico, who I never heard of, is getting that crack at Usyk and the world titles. I don't agree with it. This is a cherry pick fight. And bet the house on fucking Usyk, man. This is easy money. Usyk for the win. That's all I can say, man. It's a disgrace to boxing. I don't know what Turkey Alex Sheik is doing, putting this match up, or whoever's funding this fight shouldn't even fund it, man. I got a lot of respect for Usyk, man. Like, he's a top dog. He's one of the pound for pound kings. He's definitely
World class.
Yeah, he's definitely like top one, top two. He's up there. I got to give credit where credit's due, but fighting a fighter that not a boxer and hasn't earned a legit title shot makes no sense at all. And if I was a fighter in the top 15, I would be so upset at these organizations for allowing this to happen, because this is a slap to the face for any fighter in the top 15 ranked in any organization. This is a slap to the face, man.
Definitely. And you know what? You did wake me up when it came to this subject, because at first I thought it was an interesting matchup, because obviously, this kickboxer, I think he's undefeated or something like that, and he's feared or whatever. But then when you started to bring it up, it started to make sense, because it's like, bro, you still had the option of going to cruiserweight because of that being your past. But then at the same time too, there's other people, like you said, Joseph Parker, who he could fight instead of this guy. You know what I mean? And nobody in the boxing world knows who this guy is.
Nobody.
Nobody I know. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen anybody talking about him. And even though we love boxing, sometimes we hear about fighters. Like when it comes to like UFC and MMA, we hear about people. I've never heard of this guy in my life, bro. So,
Fact.
I don't see what's the rush, or what's the point of this. It's not gonna be like Ngannou. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ngannou is a star, bro. He's a star. He's established. And
Right.
what if he beats Usyk? Like, I doubt it. I would say bet the house on Usyk too. But what if he beats him? Then now what, bro? Like, now we have a guy we never seen in our life just beat Usyk. Like, nah, this doesn't make sense. And again, it comes down to knockouts, bro. If that guy can't knock out Usyk, I don't want to see it.
Facts. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, I've been covering boxing for so long that I'm gonna keep it real. I never heard dude's name until this fight got announced. Never know who he was. Never heard of dude Rico.
Doesn't even look familiar, or I never seen him in a movie and nothing like that, bro.
Nothing. For all I know, he could be an Uber driver or something. Who knows?
He might as well be. He might as well
Yeah,
be a Uber driver or Lyft driver or DoorDash
yeah.
driver.
So, yeah, I ain't knocking him, but I'm just saying I just don't know who he is. Never heard of dude until this fight was announced. And when it was announced, I felt some type of way, man. I was like, not Usyk, man. What? One
Yeah,
of the
he's
pound
falling
for
for it.
pound top 3 fighters in the world fighting a nobody. This is, I'm gonna keep it real. It's a cherry pick fight.
Now we gotta call it a spade, bro. He
For
has
real,
the belt. You know, Ali did
for real.
stuff like this. You know, he did his little exhibitions, but he was out the way by that time. You know, he didn't have the belt.
Correct.
Usyk has the belt, so
That's what I'm saying.
it's
There's
a legit
fighters that
argument.
want to fight for that belt that should be fighting for that belt. Like Wardley should be fighting Usyk next. There's a lot of fighters in line that earn a title shot and have climbed up rankings to, get that opportunity to fight for the world titles. And guess what? They're not getting the shot because this unknown guy who is a kickboxer that we never heard of got that opportunity, which is crazy.
And the fight is gonna be in Egypt. So again, we don't know what's going on over there. You just taking a North American belt because the WBC is a North American belt. So you just taking that belt, for a tour right now, and you just gonna take it and do whatever. And that's the part that's real suspect. You feel me? That it looks kind of funny.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this is boxing. This is what happens. In other news, we also have Devin Haney having different types of call-outs with Ryan Garcia and Rolly. So now that stuff is getting hot. But the question is, which one makes more immediate sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, which is the one that everybody wants to see right now? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, in my opinion, bro, I think everybody would prefer Deebo Haney versus Ryan Garcia at this moment. There's just a lot of controversy, around the first fight with the PEDs, the way Devin, took the L, but it was later overturned to a no contest. And then the whole suing Ryan Garcia. And then on top of that, dropping the lawsuit. And then the fight should have happened, last year. And it didn't happen. Both fighters fought on the same card, but in different fights. And then Ryan took an L. Ryan took an L. And then Devin Haney won supposedly like a boring match. And then a few months later, Haney knocks down the boogeyman in division, which was what's that dude's name? The country
Brian Norman?
Yeah, Brian Norman. Brian Norman knocked him down, beat him up for 12 rounds, looked sensational. And then now Ryan Garcia got a dominant victory over Mario Barrios. He showed, the right hand, a beautiful jab. He was boxing, and, they both looked good in their last fight. So why not make that rematch while both fighters are coming off their best victories? And let's not wait. Let's just get it on, man. The buildup is there.
I agree with you.
The history is there. They just got to get it on now, man. Why not?
I agree with you. I do think that Rolly has two things going on. So Rolly is right now, he's kind of like messing up the situation. He's like in the middle, like just kind of like messing it up. And he's doing something pretty smart because he has a belt too. And I think he thinks that he could beat both of those guys, to be honest. I think he thinks he could beat Devin Haney. He talks trash about him all the time. He always talks trash about him. But the thing is, too, Rolly doesn't have the history that Ryan and Devin have from the amateurs and all that. So I
Correct.
think it's better to you know restart the negotiations, because this thing could take a while to negotiate this fight. You know what I mean? Negotiations take a while when two egos are big and the money is crazy and there's a lot at stake. And then you got Devin Haney's dad there. There's a lot going on with these two guys. And if you take on Rolly, he could mess it up, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I really think Rolly is getting better. I know I'm gonna sound crazy, but I think Rolly is getting better. So, like, if you approach that, you're gonna be looking at things as if Ryan's like a bum. He's not, bro. Ryan is like Ryan again. You feel me? So I would just try to fight him now. He's not looking like he was versus Rolly. Ryan he's
Correct.
back. So if you waste your time with that, then you're gonna be throwing away a lot of money too. That's another thing. Like, you're gonna be throwing away a lot of money. So
Yeah,
that's
I
how I
agree
see
with
it.
you, bro. I think they should just do it now. Why not? Both fighters, like I mentioned, are coming off great victories. Get the ball rolling now.
Yeah, and there's no issues with Ryan's corner, because for some fighters, if they have their dad or whatever, sometimes they look like they're slowing down or that they're not looking that good or whatever. But Ryan's still young, and he's comfortable with his dad in the corner. you know.
Correct.
So I think they should just make the fight.
I agree, man. Like the chemistry was there too. With Ryan and his father
Yeah,
as a trainer, the chemistry was there, and believe it or not, man, I was impressed how Ryan Garcia, father slash trainer. I was impressed on the instructions he was giving Ryan during the fight. He was making the right calls, telling him what to do and what not to do, and yeah, it was there. So why not?
yeah, just make it happen, guys. Go for it. But we all know that Rolly's still gonna keep talking. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah,
Supposedly Rolly, he sent out an offer already. So
I heard. Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
That's
I don't
what
know.
That's what Haney even admitted. Yeah, he got an offer from Rolly's team, but Haney also said that Rolly got a mandatory, and he don't want to fight his mandatory because he could lose. So Rolly's looking desperate, trying to get a fight between either Ryan or Haney because he's not gonna get a bag fighting his mandatory, and there's the possibility that he could lose. And this is what Devin Haney just tweeted out. So we'll see, man. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah,
But
everybody got to perform. Feel me?
exactly.
Well, all right. Since we were talking about dads, let's um, circle back to Teofimo and his dad. So supposedly the news is that Teofimo has mentioned that he's going to be moving up to the welterweight division, and he's going to be sticking with his dad as a head trainer, but he's also going to bring someone else to the camp. How do you feel about that, and what's your take on Teofimo's future?
Teofimo moving up. I like it. Um, I think it's about time he moves up. He did what he had to do at 140. He became champion, with his father at 140 once again. But he also took a L his recent fight against Shakur Stevenson, and I wasn't impressed by the instructions his father was giving Teofimo during the fight. I think Teofimo Senior took Junior to a level that he can't go no more. I think he got to let Teo do his thing now and hire somebody that is going to take him to the next level. I mean, I don't think his father has that, you know, experience to take him to the next level. I think Teofimo either got to get rid of his, father or bring somebody in. That's the word on the street that, he's bringing somebody in. to be an assistant coach, which is still not a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing because the instruction his father was giving him during the Shakur Stevenson fight was horrible, man. And I'm gonna keep it real, man. I would have fired my father if he was giving me those instructions. Because them instructions didn't help him during the fight. He was saying BS. He wasn't, giving him real boxing instructions. Feign in, throw the jab, do this, do that. No, he was just saying bullshit, man. And yeah, nah, man. I think his dad gotta go, or let his dad be in the part of the team, but let somebody else lead as the head trainer. Like I said, I think his father took him to where he could take him, and he needs to go with another trainer to take him to higher levels.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a good time to turn a new leaf, start a new chapter. I think he should start that new chapter without his dad. Right now the news could be trickling out that he's moving up to welterweight, but I think in the background Teofimo should be trying to separate himself from his dad when it comes to the boxing ring. The boxing ring and life, it shouldn't always be like hand in hand all the time, because sometimes whatever's going on outside of the ring could follow him into the ring. So we all know, Teofimo's dad is an animated character, and we even posted some news about his dad not being focused and not showing up to press conferences and stuff like that. Those kind of things can be distracting for a fighter like Teofimo. And I never really thought about this in the past, but I really feel like Teofimo did so much for his dad that it's not even like a skill thing that his father's doing for Teofimo. He's like really like emotionally driving him to become like more motivated and focused. But when it comes to skills and stuff and having to adapt in a fight, bro, like there was a lot of opportunities to do that versus Shakur, and that was a big fight. He really dropped the ball, man. He really dropped the ball. So like I really hope that they could switch trainers or something, or like bring in a family member or somebody that could like make it a little bit different. But damn, bro, I don't know if Teofimo's ever gonna be able to like let go like that, because his dad seems like he's obsessed with his son, bro. And to be honest with you, I have no hate against that. I don't think we saying that that's bad.
Correct.
We're family men too, but like, it's about winning at the end of the day.
I agree, bro. Like I said, I think his dad took him to a level that he could just take him, but now he got to let him go and let him, do greater things at this new weight division that he's about to conquer soon, because I believe he can become a champion still at welterweight. If he fights, a fighter like Lewis Crocker, I think Teofimo could have success and, win that belt. Teofimo's still a talented fighter. Or Rolly, yeah. So, Teofimo's a talented fighter still, but he needs to do what's best for Teofimo and his career now.
Definitely. And he knows better, bro. Look at some of these champions. Like, I'm not even trying to talk bad about Mario Barrios, but come on, yo. Like, I really feel like Teofimo's more talented than that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think Teofimo would have whooped on Barrios if you ask me, bro. I think that would have been a belt that Teofimo could have won. Still, there's still other belts that he could win at 147, like Rolly's.
Yeah,
Lewis
beat it
Crocker.
Decisively.
Exactly, yeah. And not even that. That's a fight for him too, Devin or Ryan. These are big fights for Teofimo, and those are title fights too. So, if he beats
and if he wants to get a rematch for Shakur, you can't do it if you just keep fighting with your dad like this, bro. This is this is not the way, bro.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. I agree, bro.
But let's see let's see what they decide. You know, obviously this is a touchy situation for both guys. You know, the father, I think he's obsessed with his son. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, they gotta figure out what they're gonna be doing from here on out. Um, let's move towards the Golden Boy results. Winning the legal battle. Does this change anything for Ortiz? Does this make anything easier for Golden Boy? What's your take on it, and how do you feel about Golden Boy winning the legal battle versus Virgil Ortiz?
Yeah, I got the news, by Oscar. He put it out on social media, and I think it was BS to start this legal issue against Golden Boy, especially with Oscar. I think Oscar done a phenomenal job with Virgil Ortiz's career, and he built Virgil to where Virgil is now a superstar. Even though Virgil never won a world title, Virgil is a household name in the world of boxing. Everybody, knows Virgil because Golden Boy did a hell of a job and promoted him the right way. So I didn't agree, with the lawsuit against Golden Boy, but I am happy for Golden Boy because I feel like they done a phenomenal job working with Virgil Ortiz, and I'm happy that Golden Boy kind of won this battle, this legal battle. One is because, like I keep saying it, they built Virgil to what Virgil is now, and hopefully Virgil, gets back right with Golden Boy, and leave all this BS behind. Let's work together. Let's make that fight that the world want to see. Him versus Jaren in his boots. That's the fight that everybody want to see. So now's the time to work with your promoter, put the BS to the side, and get this fight done for the boxing fans, because this is the fight that everybody wanted to see. But
Definitely.
yeah, what's your thoughts, bro?
I mean, it looks like they they're not sure on if the fight will still happen, but I really feel like this is a strange situation to begin with. I've never seen someone do all this stuff just to get out of, like, a contract or something like that. That's kind of new to me. But this fight right here, it seems like it's getting lost in the shuffle, and if they can readdress it, like come back to it, then maybe the fight can happen. But it looks like Boots is already moving on. This is what this article was saying. So how do you feel about that? What if the fight takes another year or another 6 months to be made?
I mean, if as long as it gets made by the end of this year, I'll be okay with it. Me personally, I didn't want this fight to happen yet. I wanted both fighters to become champion. I wanted this fight to be bigger than what it would be if they both became champion. I believe Virgil should have fought Xander, try to win those belts. Boots should have fought Fedora or Josh Kelly, got those belts, and then fight. And you know how big that fight would be now, because both of these fighters are champions. It would have been massive. But you kind of don't really need the belts. I mean, the belts is just some extra, because both of these fighters, are superstars. and their resume speaks for themselves. So I mean, just the world title would have been a little cherry on top, but
Yeah.
if, yeah, why not, man? I'm okay if it happens now, next, or if we wait a little bit more, just let it marinate a little bit more. I'll be okay with it. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this fight was gonna take a while to negotiate anyway, because obviously what was going on with Golden Boy, it was just like gonna be impossible, bro, for it to happen right away. So that like dream of it happening right away, it was kind of taken out right away because, like I said, the legal battle. But I do want to see the fight, bro. I do want to see the fight, and I feel like Boots is wasting time. I think Ortiz has a lot of talent as well, but Boots, he's kind of wasting time. He moved up and really hasn't fought like that in that division. So I hope that they can sign that fight this year and make the fight at least for either the end of the year or for next year in the beginning. And then,
Fact.
we should see something happening, whether there's like a regular title belt on the line, like something where it's like you're getting close to like a title being on the on the on the playing field. Then yeah, I guess us waiting for it would be worth it. But we've been waiting for a while, I'm not gonna lie, like just been waiting, because of this battle.
That's facts, bro.
Yeah, Ortiz, he definitely has to get back in there.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's time for them both to put this lawsuit to the side and work together and, get a fight in and make the right choice on picking Boots and its next. I think both fighters deserve 50-50. Why not?
Yeah.
Just both straight down the middle, forget all this negotiation, come up with a number, give both fighters 50-50, and bam, we have our fight.
Yeah, they just need to get to it. So another topic I wanted to bring up, one of the last ones, unless we want to bring up anything else, is Mayweather signing to fight 3 fights this year. 2 of them are going to be exhibitions, and 1 is going to be a pro fight versus Manny Pacquiao here in Las Vegas at the Sphere. How do you feel about that? 3 fights for a guy that hasn't fought in a while in 1 year. What do you think about that?
I think Floyd going broke. He's fighting 3 fights already, man. 2 exhibitions, which are going to be money grabs. And then the third one is going to be another professional fight, which we don't even care too much for. I mean, it's already 11 plus years that this rematch should have happened a long time ago. But I don't even think people wanted to watch this rematch because of the first fight. But anyways, man, I think Floyd's going broke. He's living too lavish. His financials, I think he's not financially smart investing on what he needs to invest, because if he was, this wouldn't have happened.
Nope.
Yeah, so I mean, would I watch it? Why not? Am I happy about it? Not really. It is what it is, man. What's your thoughts, bro?
So it looks like he's going on a world tour. He got his second fight in Greece. His first fight's gonna be versus Tyson in Africa. Somebody is funding this. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely looking like this is Mayweather's way of getting his money up, because something is going on with his financials. And I agree with you, bro. Like, not everybody's gonna really be caring about this. I don't really feel like most sports fans are gonna really be caring about it. But this is his new way of making money, so that's his like new way to just say F it, I'm gonna go back in the boxing ring. But it's kind of disrespectful. It's kind of a smack in the face, like, dang, you're just gonna go and fight Tyson that's 59 years old, bro. Like, we all saw what he did versus Jake Paul. The man was
Mm-hmm.
biting his glove, restraining himself from really wanting to beat the living crap out of Jake Paul. Then also, what's the other guy? The brother of Jake Paul. Um, he's
Logan.
coming out saying that, yeah, Logan. He's saying that
Floyd owed him
Mayweather
money.
owes him. Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
I didn't want to believe it because I've been to Mayweather's gym. Shout out to everybody that trained out of Mayweather's gym, and you know, you know, I met some videographers there. So that was like a family style gym. Like a lot of boxing gyms. But to be honest with you, bro, I'm kind of shocked that he went broke. Um, I thought that he was a little bit more savvy than what is being reported. But then if you look at it from a normal perspective, he does waste a lot of money,
Fact.
so I don't know what to think really. I just know that Pacquiao is kind of like in the same boat, low key.
I
And
agree,
then
bro. I agree 100%.
Pacquiao a little bit like going back and forth with like he's gonna retire and then not retire, and then the whole thing with him wanting to take Floyd Mayweather's that could be true, but it seems like both these guys, they just have problems with money, and they're just showing it like, yo, we have problems, man. We want to fight. So will it be entertaining? Yes, it will be, but it looks like it's just like a world tour type of deal.
Facts, man. I agree, bro.
Yeah, like the whole Greece thing, that's crazy. Those fights are like almost back to back, April and June.
Yeah, then September, it's like 2 months or something like that. April, May, June, and then June, August, September. Yeah, like so 2 months apart, damn near.
Yeah, but I still don't even know who that second guy is. It's like the same thing with Usyk, just picking random kickboxer / whatever. I don't know who he's for.
Whoever he is. I don't even know dude's
Lyft
name.
driver, like you said, Uber
Exactly.
driver.
I this is my first time ever seeing dude. I don't even know who he is. I don't even know his name. It's my first time seeing him on this picture. So
Yeah, this is my first time reading it. It says his name is Mike Zambides.
okay.
It's an exhibition. I don't care about this guy. I don't know why it's even happening. But yeah, there's a few fights being signed as we speak, and I did want to shout out, or not shout out, but I did want to bring up that there's a chance that Anthony Joshua could just show up in the boxing world again. It was pretty sad what happened to him and his team, and all the outcome that happened while he was out in Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. But you never know. He might want to get back in the ring, and I think that could be interesting too. I think Anthony Joshua is a really, really good fighter. He's one of my favorites of this era. So I hope to see him back again. And did you want to give any shout outs to anybody, Lelos?
Yeah, man. Salute to AJ, man. He's a great fighter too, man. I'm happy. He knocked Jake Paul the f out. He did it for for the culture, for the boxing fans, and I'm happy about that. Hopefully, whenever he gets his mind right, we'll see him back in the ring soon, and we'll be looking forward to his return. I do want to give my boy Abelito Ramos a quick little shout out. He did his damn thing this past weekend. A lot of people wrote him off. They thought that he was about to lose his fight, but he proved a lot of people wrong. Right before the fight, I told everybody, man, hey, man, Abel Ramos is one of my favorite fighters to watch. Tune in Saturday and you'll see why. And guess what? He didn't disappoint. He came to fight like always, man. In the early rounds, he was, calculating and, taking data down. By the fourth round, it was a one-way streak. Ramos started taking the supposedly next thing in the division. to school, and he did his damn thing. He did call out Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, and those are great fights for Ramos, man. I'm telling you, a lot of people sleep on Ramos. I don't. I seen him fight live. I thought he beat up Mario Barrios. I thought he should have, won that fight, but they gave him a draw. Anyways,
Wow.
man, Ramos is a real Mexican warrior and always in entertaining fights. If you don't know who he is, now you do. Make sure you follow him, Abelito Ramos, and he comes to fight all the time. So salute to you. I can't wait, for your next fight. I'll try my best to be there. Abel Ramos Boxing. Make sure y'all follow him, man. The real deal.
Definitely. And I think with this one, we're going to be signing out. Bros, just keep on subbing, keep on subscribing, all that, following. Leilo's Boxing definitely got a bunch of content for you guys on his Instagram and what is it, Twitter,
YouTube, TikTok. But make sure y'all, keep watching these shows, man. We're still barely starting, and we're gonna continue to grow. Not only grow, but we're gonna have fighters here sooner or later, and we're gonna be asking all the right questions, and even your guys' questions. If you have any questions for a fighter when we do interviews, write them down, send them in, DM your guys' questions, or when we go live, type it on the live, man, because I'm gonna say how it is, man. I'm gonna ask the right questions. I ain't gonna beat around the bush. I'm a boxing fan first, and I want to ask the right questions and speak my mind and say how it is. So that's what you guys are gonna get from me and from this podcast. Great quality.
yes sir, definitely. That's all we just trying to bring to the boxing world. More conversations and more fights that we want to see every day. You already know we've been doing this for a while, bros. We have the history. We've been on Instagram, YouTube, you name it, Facebook. We've been
Facts.
doing this for a while. So all you got to do is bring your questions. Let us know who you want to talk to. We're going to be setting up some things, some emails and whatnot. Or if not, you can always just comment and just ask any questions you guys have. Okay.
Yeet.
So we out of here, man. Peace
All
out.
right.
And you guys have a great one. Enjoy your weekend. Later.